We're standing here today on September the 15th, 4 days past the nationwide commemoration of 9/11, a time when the terrorist attack really burst upon our national consciousness, and Americans had a choice at that point in time. They could either crumble under the pressure of fear, or they could stand tall in the face of adversity. Those almost simultaneous attacks on the towers in New York City, on the Pentagon, they turned our American landmarks into blazing infernos. They killed innocent Americans, and they shook our nation to its core, and our sense of security. In the minutes and the hours and the days of uncertainty that followed those premeditated attacks on our innocent men, women, and children, our nation looked for inspiration, and they found it in leaders like Rudy Giuliani. As Americans looked on in awe, we watched the people in New York recover from a staggering blow, willingly following a leader who had their full confidence because of the integrity and the consistency that he had shown in cleaning up a city that was riddled with crime, a city that was known as America's murder capital in the past. It's really remarkable when you look at his record. You survey Mayor Giuliani's record on fighting crime, you see his no-nonsense approach to it. Crime in New York City dropped by 56% from 1993 to 2001, and those are FBI figures. The result of this philosophy and this investment, I think, speak volumes for themselves. And I'm very glad that a crime fighter like the mayor is here with us today as Texans continue to work towards securing our southern border. We are devoting additional resources to this growing threat of transnational gangs in communities all across the state. As you know, Texas continues to deal with the federal government's abject failure to secure our international border. Just last week, I stood with members of our law enforcement community to announce the creation of the Ranger Recon teams, working in concert with the National Guard counter-drug forces and coordinating with local, state, and federal authorities. These Ranger-led teams will go where the bad guys are, and they will further impede those trafficking lanes into our country. These teams will use the latest technology available. They will enhance our strategic ability to shut down the drug cartels. As we've made life and business tougher for those cartel members, they have increasingly utilized the services of transnational gangs. We've seen them growing and seeing their reach expand into our prisons, into our communities. That's why last year, matter of fact, I was in this room and we started the flow of funding for our transnational gang initiative. A check for more than $250,000. And that was part of $4 million that we made to local police departments engaged in fighting these increasingly powerful and dangerous criminal elements. As the 81st legislature got underway, I challenged the members of the legislature to equip our state law enforcement with new tools to fight against these transnational gangs. Today, I'm proud to tell Austin that their legislators acted. They acted positively to protect citizens with more than $110 million in resources for both the border security and the anti-gang effort. In addition, they passed an omnibus gang bill. That was House Bill 2086, which provided for the electronic monitoring of gang members, the creation of gang-free zones, and the establishment of civil liability for gang members and the damage that they cause. The legislature also approved funding for a gang intelligence section within the Texas Fusion Center, as well as increased resources for gang investigations and prosecutions. I'm pleased that we're providing the peace officers in the state with the resources that they need to get the job done. If you ask me, I would put our peace officers up against any others anywhere in the world. I think we've got some of the finest men and women who are keeping us safe anywhere in the world you will find. And in the months and the years to come, Texas is going to use these additional resources to keep after the drug cartels and the transnational gangs, to keep them from doing their bidding, because the lives and the well-being of our citizens are what's important here. Back in the early 2000s or 1999, when I was lieutenant governor, I had the opportunity to meet and to be with Mayor Giuliani, to study what he had done in New York City. And I have always been impressed with this man's uncanny ability to analyze what was going on in New York, particularly on the crime fighting side, and to put into place the efforts that turned New York from a city that, quite frankly, most adult individuals would have found to be threatening if they had spent much time in downtown New York, in Times Square, to a city that today is highly alluring, a city that we see as a place that you can recommend that people go for to visit and to enjoy that city. And I will suggest that one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, is a man that is known as America's mayor, and that's Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor?
Governor, thank you very much. Governor, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me here at the police department. I always like being in police departments. I grew up in law enforcement, and I realize how important the work that they do is, and the reality that we don't often enough express our gratitude for the men and women who wear the police uniform, who are protecting us, putting their lives at risk to protect us every day. And that is made even more difficult by the fact that we have all of these violent organizations, the gangs that they're dealing with, the narcotics dealers, the drug dealers that they're dealing with, all of which spawn a tremendous amount of violence. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know where we would be. So thank you very, very much, and God bless you for all that you do. And I'm particularly impressed with the efforts that are made here with regard to gangs, because of the coordination and the sharing of intelligence and the work that they do together. No one police department can deal with this. These gangs operate across the border, they operate internationally. If one police department alone tried to deal with it, it would be beyond their resources. The governor has been a real champion for putting the resources in to deal with these gangs. He's been a real champion for dealing with our border and making sure that it's secure. The reality is a border that can be crossed at will is a border across which you can carry drugs, you can carry weapons, you can carry other means and methods for both crime and for terrorist acts. And this is a responsibility that should be undertaken and completed by the federal government. This is a core function of the federal government, and it's unfortunately something that the federal government has, in the governor's words, been an abject failure at dealing with, and he's absolutely right. Now, you have two choices when the federal government fails to have a secure border. You can ignore it, and then you have tremendous chaos, not just in your state, but throughout the country, or you can try to deal with it, which is what the governor has done by using the police, by using the state, the rangers, by using all of the resources that are available to him to try to secure the border. and it's something that he has focused on. It's something that he's had great success with, and it's something that the federal government should be more of a partner in helping and in getting it done. In fact, it should be their major core work that they accomplish that, and they haven't. But Governor Perry is not someone who sits back and complains. He's someone who gets things done. He's helped to get it done in securing the border. He's helped to get it done in dealing with gang violence. He's helped to get it done in the areas of the fiscal responsibility of the state. I should mention, as an aside, that Texas is one of the best examples, if not the best example, of fiscal management in the country. In an era in which states are floundering, your state is at the top of the list in almost every single category, which is the reason why so many people want to come here and so many people want to live here.